feel so warm right now. I feel like, you know, when you take a sip of soup or hot chocolate on a cold day and it travels through your throat and down into your belly, and you just kind of feel that warmth wash over you and move through you? That's how I feel right now when I was in that meditation. Man, last couple of days have been so filled with love and filled with every love but romantic love, and literally like the best love there could be. Like, I can't think of better love in my life from my family or friends, and I just feel so grateful to have that. And what you're seeing behind me in the middle, you may have noticed a new flower addition, was from my darling friend Annie. We went to Galentine's Day at her house yesterday, and she cooked us this delicious meal, spicy pasta. You guys know I love a little spicy pasta. I am a spicy pasta, perhaps a rigatoni. And she cooked us Brussels sprouts, my favorite. Am I the only weird person who loves Brussels sprouts? I love Brussels sprouts. And we walked into her place. It was really funny because I dressed up for no reason, and I even curled my hair, which is why my hair is so big and like has a wave to it. This is day 3 hair, so sorry if it's really messy, but I had gotten ready, and you know, I wanted to stunt. I thought we were about to stunt, and I had no idea who was going to be there. Did not ask the dress code. I really just let that one rip. And I walk in the door, and it's Annie and our friend Jess, and they're in the Austin Classic athleisure. Annie had dressed up a little bit. She was wearing a Karma is My Boyfriend shirt. If you know, you know. Swiftologists out there among us. And it was so wonderful. We walk in, and Annie had the lighting was dim, and there were like candles set up, and 2 bouquets of flowers, and my favorite hydrangeas to match my other hydrangeas, and these roses, and she got us these little cards. They're so intricate, oh my gosh, and you guys know I love popcorn, or maybe you don't know that, but now you do. I love popcorn. Popcorn's one of my main food groups, in addition to potatoes. So she got this cute little Valentine's Day card that was popcorn. It says, "You make my heart pop," and it was so cool. It was like, you know that sealing material that's like textured popcorn? It was kind of like that, but on a card. It was so wonderful and intricate and so thoughtful. Oh, I forgot the creme brulee and the mousse, the chocolate mousse in a little heart shape. So basically, Annie is the best boyfriend I could ever ask for. And that's so amazing. It's amazing. She was like, it would be so easy to be a man. You know, she went to Whole Foods, and she's like, there's all these dudes aimlessly wandering around like, oh, should I get this flower or this flower? And you have these dudes trying to pick out like the prearranged bouquets when there's a station that you could walk up to and get it wrapped with that really nice little like, you know, brown paper wrapping to make it look all artisanal. And she was helping them out. I was like, Annie, you should literally just stand by the flower counter with a QR code of your Venmo and say like free girlfriend advice, and you'd sweep. You would make a good hourly rate standing there helping these guys try to figure out how to be romantic. It's like, where are the Riz classes? Is there a Riz 101 curriculum that we can just ship out and like put in front of every man out there? Because our boys are struggling. Let me tell you about someone who was not struggling though. A young king who I met in the elevator at my apartment complex. He went to the Annie Candido School of Rizology, because this was at like 7, 8 in the morning. I was going up my elevator, and this guy is like rushing into the elevator. I hold the door for him. He has these bouquets of flowers, like white roses, red roses. He's holding them in both hands. And then he has this grocery bag that's so heavy I can hear like wine glasses or bottles smashing up against each other and like just sloshing around. And I was like, oh, so, big plans for today, like good work. I see that you got a lot of stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, like you wouldn't believe it. I got the last steak at the grocery store. And I was like, no way. He's like, yeah, I tried to go yesterday and they were out of steaks. Can you believe that? And they were wiped of all their flowers. I'm like, no way, really? He's like, yeah, I went to 3 different grocery stores to make sure that I could get white and red roses and some steak and materials for dinner tonight. I was like, wow, that's really beautiful. Like, good work, my guy. You're a champion. And he was like, well, she deserves it. And I just thought that was so sweet. It actually inspired me to write. Like, this happens all the time, but I'll have these little moments and I'll just get this flash of words that come to me, and I'll use the moment to create art. And I was just on a high getting off that elevator because it was just such a reminder that like love is all around you. And really, if you put on rose-colored glasses and look at the world and just say like, I am love and I am surrounded by love, you find love everywhere you look. And it really is so magical. I look in my own life and I see like, my best friend who's so thoughtful and knows that hydrangeas are my favorite flower and gets these beautiful hydrangeas and this popcorn card because that's my main food group, and little pasta, that's spicy pasta that I love, and Brussels sprouts. And it's like, that's an amazing amount of love, and I have my other amazing friends, and my mom who sent me a card. She sends me a card every holiday, and it's so sweet with just like this little thoughtful note, and the cards are always so adorable. And getting her Valentine's Day card in the mail, and my friend Talia, who just brings me random gifts all the time just because she's thinking of me. And Danny, who's always he's so funny. He has such well-timed texts that really make me think, and I'm going to actually do a writing exercise off of one of our text interactions on Valentine's Day. I'll tell you a little bit about that one. So Danny is he is pure love, but he is going through a little bit of a love bubble right now. It's so wonderful. I'm so happy for him. I truly do love Danny with all of my heart. And I was just telling Talia this because we were on a walk tonight, that Danny is just, oh my gosh, he deserves the world. Like, he gave me the gift of understanding what it feels like to be around a safe, calm, emotionally. Woo! I sneezed again. Second sneeze ever. Emotionally regulated man. And he's just given me so much with his pure presence alone, not even really having to do anything. Like, I was saying this to Talia earlier, just reflecting, and I didn't even mean to get emotional, but sometimes, Danny's impact on me has been so profound that I just get emotional talking about him sometimes. It's happening right now. But I said this with Talia earlier. I think like one of the reasons I love Danny so much is because he's one of the first men who just loved me for who I was, and who really like saw me and never asked anything of me. Always made me feel so safe in his presence, and so calm, and his calmness would mirror to me. And when we would run into each other and then walk around for like 10 hours and his amount of presence and his ability to just soothe the parts of me that I wasn't really ready to look at or accept. It was just so incredibly healing. It's incredibly healing to have a friend like Danny, and we did that for each other. But I've just not quite had a friendship with a man like that before him, and it was so special. And the other day when he and I were on the phone, and he was telling me about this love bubble that he's found himself in, and we're so excited for him. Tal and I are just like over the moon because he deserves it so much. And and we were on the phone, and he said to me, like, you know, you and Talia prepared me for this because I wouldn't be the man that I am today without you guys, and without like you both being such important women in my life and helping me understand, you know, how to show up for women and tap into my presence and be that calm, grounding force. And that how I was showing up was the gift, and it was enough. And without you and all of our conversations, I don't know if I would have been ready for this and to meet this moment. And that was just such a special, like, a special moment. Like, I cry even just thinking about him saying that to me, because I said that very same thing to him. I think why I have such an emotional reaction when I talk about Danny is he healed something in me. Danny did, because I think he was just the first man who spent so much time with me, and we spent so much time together, and we didn't need anything from each other. We didn't want anything from each other. Like, we just were so happy to be in each other's presences and to learn and explore and to grow and just create this beautiful container and hold up a mirror to each other. And I didn't have to like put on a show, you know, I didn't have to perform. I didn't have to be the best around Danny. I could just be myself, and he was so accepting of me and like loved me just the way that I was. And I don't know if you've ever experienced something like that with the opposite sex specifically, but it just healed something in me, you know? I think that the confidence that I gained in myself and in who my actual self, my authentic self, that I gained through conversations with people like Danny and Talia, and all of the wonderful friends in my life, like Annie and Brian and my family. I mean, everybody who I've ever interacted with has gotten me to this point, but I think there was something especially healing about my conversations with Danny that would go on for hours and hours and hours and hours, and because I trusted him and I could feel so calm in his presence, like, he taught me what it was like to be around a calm man. He gave me that gift. I had not felt that in a long time. And he gave me that gift, like, he gave me the gift of knowing what it felt like, so that when I feel it again, I'll know. And without Danny, I wouldn't know. It's just really, really special. So anyway, he and I were texting, and he's in this love bubble, and I said, I can only imagine how exciting it is to be with someone who posts things on Instagram that are so filled with light and love, and you just open up your app and you see them and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, here's a little part of my person that I get to watch and I get to experience. And it's just like this like light explosion because they're such a ray of sunshine. And I texted him that, and I was like, it's so special that you have a dynamic like that, that you're with somebody who's just pure light. And I said, it's really special, Danny, like, make sure you cherish it. And he said, any advice on how to cherish it? And I'm just going off the cuff, and I'm like, well, ask ask Talia. I have no luck in this area, with like a smiling face, like a laughing, crying face. And he was like, no, that's the wrong answer. You have to act like you already have the romantic love that you desire. And you're already so good at cherishing other types of love in your life and other people in your life. And I just heart reacted in the moment, because I was just being a little stubborn. I like to wallow sometimes, just some friendly wallowing. And I was still in this like little transition period of letting go. You guys have seen my diaries where I got the less than ideal news about my crush coming here and then not being able to, and I felt disappointed. But then over the last day, especially the last 2 days, I've just been letting go. I've just been letting go. Valentine's Day was hilariously timed, because you're hit with all of this love, and like, for me, Valentine's Day was so wonderful because I got to see romantic love through the eyes of others, like the guy in the elevator who knocked it out of the park. But I also got to see it through the eyes of people in my life who pour so much love into me, and I only hope I pour the same amount of love into them, like my friend Annie up here, or my Galentine's Day, or like all of my wonderful friends who sent me things and who are thinking of me and get me little gifts. And Julia sent me this Venmo for $2.22 to cover a Diet Coke. And it's just like, those little thoughtful ditties, those little thoughtful things that just make you so grateful and give you such great reminders of all the love that surrounds you. And I think it's when you start to develop a painful relationship with love is when you want love to look a certain way. When you're committed to a specific outcome and it's so rigid that anything less than that outcome will make you disappointed. Because like what we talked about over the last couple of days with letting go is, you hold an intention in your mind and it can be really strong, but you have to just hold that intention and let go of the how. You have to let go of the specifics. You know what you want, right? So I'll use me. What do I want? I am ready for the love of my life. I'm ready. My heart is so open. I have cultivated such an overwhelming love into myself. I pour into myself every single day. Like we talked about in the last diary, I've done the cup audit, like how full are all of my cups in all these different areas of my life. My friendships, my community involvement in social life, my health, my career. What do all those cups look like? They're all overflowing. And I'm ready. So ready. And for me, that's what I want. I want to be in a relationship with somebody who treats me like a goddess. And I want to have the most incredible, transcendental love that's filled with support and long walks and curiosity and going to the library and running around and picking up books and reading them to each other, and pure romance and date nights and lots of forehead kisses and cuddles and going to the movies and running around like kids and laughing all the time and going to comedy shows and just adventuring and exploring and building things together and building an empire and creating things for fun and doing videos together, because why not? And having him right next to me doing these meditation videos and bringing him into it sometimes so you can see our little lovely dynamic, and bringing him his favorite treat from the store, and him surprising me with a large Diet Coke from Chick-fil-A. And it's like, that's what I love. That's what I love, and that's what I want. I just want, I'm ready for the love of my life. I'm ready for my person. I am ready. I'm so ready. And so that's my intention, right? Calling in the one, calling in my person. But going back to why I even brought this up, I hold this intention in my mind, in my heart, in my soul really strongly, but I have to release the how, and I have to release the who even, until the actions align with what I'm looking for. Like we talked about, writing that list, writing that letter. This is something I'm gonna do soon. I have a list of qualities, and I did mine. Some people just do it in bullets, but I actually do mine in bullet sentences. So I highly recommend writing out a list of qualities that you want your love to have, the love of your life, your husband, your wife, whatever you want to call that person, whatever your goal is, get really specific. Write out those qualities, and then make sure that you have all of the qualities mirrored within yourself that you're looking for, right? And if there's anything that you need to work on, like for me, it's my directness, which I've made huge gains in just being honest and owning the feeling and being direct. Very proud of myself. I feel like everything that's happened, no matter what, has been in service of my higher self and preparing me for the one. I don't know who that is, and I'm very open and excited to finding out. But my whole point in saying that is, write out the list of the qualities that you want in your person, and then make sure that you're matching those qualities, that you're coming to the table with that, and be really honest about the areas that you might need to grow in, right? Because maybe it's giving yourself the opportunity to grow in those areas that are the very last little pieces that will knock the cosmic timing into place and bring that person to you even faster, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, and I've done this before, but I'm actually gonna do it again, because Danny reminded me. He was like, hey, have you done this in a while? Like, maybe you should revisit it. Is to write a letter to your love, and just like they're right here today, and to date it, and to say, oh my darling, my love, and then write a big letter to them, and shower them with praise and love and admiration of all the things that you love about them, and weave in some of those qualities that you wrote on your list, and feel it so deeply, so strongly in your heart, mind, body, soul. And that way, the more you can clarify your own intention and like what that end goal looks like for you, when it comes into your life, you'll know it when you feel it. But you hold that intention really strongly, while also recognizing that the how and the who is a question mark, until through their actions it becomes very obvious that, oh, like this person not only has all the qualities I'm looking for, but their qualities in action. They're not just on paper, they're not a projection. It's not, oh, this person has the potential to do these things. It's like, no, this is what this person is demonstrating to me, is all of these qualities. It's very easy to fall for potential. It's very easy to be caught up in the story. You know me, I love a good story. But if you ever catch yourself saying, oh, making excuses, or saying, I know that he could do this, but then blah, 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 blah. Let's take a step back. Let's look at the facts of how this person is showing up. And let's look at what you're looking for and what you want for your life and what you want in a partner. Are they showing up in that way? Yes or no? No excuses, no gray area, just yes or no. And if it's a no on these qualities, then that doesn't mean you have to X them out, or get rid of them, or in my little terminology with my black and white thinking, like put them in the no category. Just put them in the who knows category, the maybe category, and keep your heart open and take aligned actions towards seeing who else could be out there. I think that this is the biggest thing. I was telling this to one of my friends. I'll try to be vague about this so I don't blow up her spot. But she was telling me about this situation with a guy who she's been in a little bit of a situationship with for a while, for a couple of months. And she was like, well, I think he likes me because we text all the time, and like, why else would he text me if he didn't like me as a person? And, you know, just trying to kind of like understand like put logic to the illogical. And oh, trust me, I've done that before. When I was trying to spin my wheels and understand, you know, back in my down bad my down bad era in 2021, when I was trying to distract myself from processing and feeling my deeper pain with what happened with my ex, who went through a tragic event. I spun my wheels over that shorter relationship because it was fun. It kept me really entertained. It was a complete and utter waste of time in all intents and purposes, all meaning of the word. Like, I look back on that and I cringe with so much force and intensity because I'm like, holy crap, like I could have taken over the world in that time. And there I was, talking about the same thing, running back that same beat all that time. Oh my goodness. And so because I've been there, I can see when someone else is there. And I'm looking at her and I'm hearing her talk and I'm hearing her being like, well, what if this and what if that and what if this and what if that? And I'm like, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if you talk to him every day. Why does that matter? Also, what are you getting out of this? He seems to be getting a lot out of this. He's basically getting an unpaid therapist on call in you. And you're allowing him to do that. And you're asking him all these questions and you're putting in all of this effort. And when you do that, when you allow an imbalance like this to happen, you allow this person to take up so much mental real estate that it becomes so noisy. The voice in your head dedicated to them becomes so noisy and loud that you can't free up any space for any other voices to come into your head. You have no interest or time or bandwidth for somebody who would be way better for you to come into the frame, and you could actually hear them and be like, oh wow, like I like that song, I like that voice a lot better than this one. That's the downfall of a situationship. That's a downfall of like giving your attention to somebody who is not fully showing up the way that you deserve, or fully showing up, said another way, in alignment with the qualities that you're looking for. So this is the downfall of like falling for potential and for being like, oh, I really like him and like some of it's there. No. If somebody is looking you dead in the eye and saying, I'm not ready, cut and run, babe. No, we do not need to be dealing with that. Because if it's meant to be, they will circle back. They know how to contact you. It's real easy to contact somebody. We all do it all day long. We have a little computer in our pocket that we can pick up, type a couple of little like freaking characters, put in the name, and text whatever we want. Easy access, instant access to people at all times. No. So don't spin up any excuses as to like, oh, this man isn't contacting me, but it's because of this and this and this, and he's really overwhelmed, and he's got a lot going on. No. People make time for what they care about. That applies in every way, in every area. Do not torture yourself with the endless what if. Take all of that time. I think like this is the really insidious thing about what I'm talking about, is that you might think, oh, but I don't really care. Is that true though? Because if you're in one of these situations with somebody who, like, this is what it would look like. I don't know what I want, and I don't even know if I want a relationship, but you're talking to somebody who you're not in a relationship with, who you're interested in, who maybe there's sex involved, you know, it could be a situationship or whatever. You're talking to them regularly, and you're telling yourself, oh, it's fine though, because I don't want a relationship anyway. This person is literally fulfilling part of your emotional connection needs, and you're getting enough of a fix from them to where you don't think that you need that, when in reality it's like a drug addict going back to this source that you get comfortable with. And it's like this level of connection that, oh, when I need a quick hit of an emotional connection, I'm just gonna hit up this person, and then they get your attention, and now it's like, oh wow, like they texted me, yay, right? But because you're both fueling each other's half-assed connection, that's never going to become something, because one party has made it clear they don't want it to become something, but they also don't want to quit you because you're giving them an emotional connection, right? And so that because you're giving them an emotional connection, I think women do this especially, the woman will tell themselves, well, I'm different, and like I'm not like the other girls, and like he comes to me because he feels things, and so he's not using me. Yes, he is, babe. He is using you. He is using you. Because if he can't open up with most girls, okay, great. Like my friend who I was talking to, she's like, well, I think I'm different than the other girls. He said that he doesn't really open up like that, but he opens up to me. Okay, great. Who cares? Why is that a badge of honor? Why do we care? That's great. He can also go get a therapist, right? Like, why do you have to be on call as this man's emotional support? Does this man emotionally support you? Is it reciprocal? Or is it just like whenever he's feeling down, he'll come and get his little, dopamine fix by texting you because you're always there and you're always there for him? And do you not see it at all as you're enabling a situation where he's not going to let go of you because you're not putting your foot down, and he's getting this shot of connection and emotional connection whenever he wants it. And you're not going to let go of him because you want something more from him that he's not prepared to give you. And you think if you keep investing the time, then he's going to change his mind down the road, right? Neither party wants to actually put their foot down and end it. So what you're doing is you're delaying, like, think about, like, you're here, meeting your person and having the connection that you actually want is over here. And this bullshit that I'm talking about is keeping you between these poles. It is keeping you at arm's length from finding the connection that you actually want. This very compelling distraction. This person who's giving you half of what you want, because it becomes fun. It becomes a little bit of a self-worth proving. Like, oh, I could be the one who changes him. I could be the one who's different. I could be the one who makes him want a relationship. Baby, who cares? That's not a badge of honor. Why do we have to? No. So the best thing you should do in this scenario, it's like sometimes we spend time in situations that aren't for us because we either don't think that we deserve what is for us, or really that's what it is. It's a self-worth thing. It's like, oh, it can't be easy. I would rather struggle and have strife in this situation that's very hard and hurts my feelings and makes me feel like I have to like earn somebody and work really, really hard to get them to change their mind, because if they went from not wanting a relationship and then I'm the one who makes them want a relationship, and that means that like I'm worth it and I'm worthy and I'm a winner and they want me. So that means that like I'm worth it. No, you're worth it just because you exist, right? Like, why? You don't have to prove yourself by proving that somebody's gonna change their mind and be with you. Someone tells you who they are, believe them and do not try to change them. You go into a dynamic trying to change somebody, you are fighting an uphill battle riddled with disappointment, and you're wasting your time, and you're probably going to give that person so much of you that they do not deserve. You're going to overgive to try to prove yourself. You are going to try to coach this person, being an unpaid therapist, be their emotional support, be their rock. What are they doing for you? Seriously. Like, take a step back. A lot of the time when this dynamic happens, it's very one-sided. It's sad. It's really sad to see. So the best thing you could do if you're in a half-ass situation like this is just to put your foot down, look at the qualities that you want in somebody, really ask yourself, what's my intention? If you don't know if you want a relationship, that's fine, but maybe your intention can be, I want reciprocity. I want someone to give the same level of love I'm giving. That doesn't have to mean you're in a relationship. It just means, like, for a standard in my life, any of my friends or people I hold dear to me, which I see as anyone you're investing time into, including a crush or somebody who you see as a potential partner, if that reciprocity isn't there, we're dead in the water, right? Like, are you ever gonna have a friend where it's one-sided, you're giving, and they're taking? No, you wouldn't allow that as a friend, so why would you allow that in a potential romantic partner? It's so funny how we, like, treat different categories of connection differently. What if you just treated romance the same way that you treated your friends? And if the reciprocity wasn't there, if they didn't have the values that you were looking for in a friend, don't invest there. You don't feel like you have to prove yourself to people that you want to be friends with, right? I don't feel like I have to prove myself to my friends. I just exist. I'm just myself and they love me and I love them. And that's it, right? It's not a performance. It's literally like, oh my gosh, we have the same values. I leave every conversation with you feeling energized. I try to help you. You try to help me. I listen to you. You listen to me. You hold space for me. I hold space for you. I think of you. You think of me. We both consider each other. All of these areas are so reciprocal. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, great. Now I have a folder for you in my head and I love you so much. And we're friends. You have a bar for every level of connection in your life. Like, extend that out to romance. And I'm not talking down at you here at all. I'm also giving myself advice. I really want you to know. Like, I'm saying this because I need myself to hear it. I need myself to hear what I'm saying right now because, like I told you, I'm letting go. I'm in the active process of letting go and opening my horizons and opening my lens back up. And I'm actually very excited about that. I think I got excited. I bought into the story of what could be with this one person, and I have a pattern of doing this. I get excited. I'm very loyal. I close myself down, and I'm a romantic, and so I get swept up in the story. In reality, now, especially after this trip not happening, I had to take a step back and recalibrate and say, okay, no matter what the reason was, the action is telling me that I'm not a priority in the same way that I've made him a priority. And so I've got to recalibrate. I'm pulling back. I'm opening my heart again. I'm going to go out on dates. I talked to the matchmaker lady. Like, I'm going to be abundant and open and free-flowing again. And I'm not going to put my heart on hold or my intentions or my desires on hold for somebody who is not showing up in the way that I deserve. And I'm taking my own advice. I'm looking at the qualities that I say that I want in my life partner and in my person, and I'm cross-referencing them with the actions of anyone who comes into my field romantically. And if you're not moving with those intentions, if you're not moving with those values and qualities that I've written out that I'm looking for, then okay, That's fine. I'm observing, I'm taking note, and I'm going to act accordingly. So what my endeavor is right now, with anyone who comes into my field romantically, is just like I would a friend. You come through with a certain energy, a certain level of effort. Okay, I'm watching and I'm going to match you. I'm going to match you. I might like you as a person, but I'm looking at your actions. I'm not looking at the story. I'm not looking at the personality. I'm not looking at the potential of what it could be. I'm looking at what is right in front of me. You know, what is somebody giving you? What are you giving them? A good way to look at this that Talia brought up to me, I think it's brilliant and very true. Look at your text with somebody. How much are you giving versus how much are they giving? Is it an equal level of like give and take here? Like, are you sending someone paragraphs and they're sending you a couple of words? There's an imbalance here of effort, right? So if you notice, and with friends it's a little bit different. Like, for example, I'm very talkative and communicative, and I'm illustrative in my words. I'm a writer, and Danny gives like a couple of words, but we're friends and that's our dynamic, and it's very true to how we show up in person. So I'm not going to look at that and think anything of it, because that's just our unique styles dancing together. But if I look at like me and Talia and how we talk, it's very equal, very reciprocal. You know, she gives her energy, I give mine, and it always kind of just matches, because that's just the natural dance that you tend to do. Now, if I look at text from years ago with people that I was interested in, and most of the time the energy matches, but there will be some times where I'm giving very little and the guy is giving me a lot, and vice versa. So don't send someone paragraphs when they're sending you a couple of words. That's a good gauge. You recalibrate. Really, like, take a look at what it is and say, you know what? How do I bring this into balance? How do I match the energy that's being given to me? And not from a space of game playing, but out of a space of like, I deserve reciprocity, and I'm paying attention and watching closely. And if you're not showing up and matching my energy, okay, that's fine. I totally accept that and I understand that, but I'm going to adjust. You can't just keep pouring into somebody who's giving you water droplets, right? So those are just some thoughts. I think I'll leave you now because I don't know if you can hear, I feel like I'm a little stuffy. I've just got the tiniest little colds and I don't want to be sick for the walk on Saturday. It's going to be such a big weekend because it's Danny's marathon in Austin. And we're so excited. Me and Tal are going to get together on Saturday after the walk, and we're going to make him a bunch of signs. And I'm so excited. It's going to be so freaking fun. And his parents are coming into town, and I'll finally get to meet his mom and dad. And we're going to go to Perry's Steakhouse for dinner. And it's going to be so fun. And the whole gang's going to be together. And I just am so excited. I have to be really well rested for this weekend, and it is officially 11/11. Oh my gosh, how special. Let's make a wish and make a wish. Okay, ready? 30 seconds, make a wish. Wow. It was so special. I am sending the biggest wave of support towards whatever you wish for in that 30 seconds. Oh my goodness, this is going to be such a love-filled week. And just remember, look at the reciprocity in your life and make adjustments where there's any level of imbalance in any way, in your friendships, in your relationships, in business, in any way. Reciprocity is everything. It is the critical component that I look for on where and who to invest in. So it's the best. There's nothing like equal effort. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. so magical. I really, really, really love you. I know this one was a little bit more demure, but hey, you never know what you're gonna get. I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you, and I will talk to you later, lovies. I'll give you some kisses now. Love you so much. Have a good week. Bye-bye.